And we're back. Hello and welcome to another Tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and you can see in this video, well, I guess I should say the painting I am presenting to you today is called Creek at Sunset. It's a 5x10 and I did it very recently, maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that, so it's very fresh. You can see I chose to record my initial color mixing process. So if you well, first of all, you could go to my blog and there's a going to be a picture of this painting there, or you could take a little screenshot or something. But if you compare the colors I'm mixing now to the painting, you can see the basic foundation of how I broke the colors down in my mind that I was going to use in the painting. So these are the broad strokes. I generally will modify these colors quite a lot. You see, I don't necessarily mix a ton of colors either. A lot of the reasons that I do this is just to kind of wrap my head around the color palette for the painting, and you can see I don't spend a lot of time doing it, but you know, I consider it a valuable part of my process, and I could skip it. Sometimes I do, you know. In fact, I always skip it if I'm just doing a redo or something like that. I don't worry about mixing colors for that, or second, third, or fourth. Heaven help me if there's a fourth pass on a painting. I don't mix colors for that either. But I do for my initial color pass, and I think it's very helpful. Yeah. So, like I say, if you like that sort of thing, let me know in the comments. I have a sort of a debate in my brain whether a lot of people will like it, because it sort of delays the getting into the action of the actual painting, which is really what I'm interested in recording. I just, you know, really find getting down that linear process on video is awesome. I just love it, and that's one of the reasons I share it, because heck, I record it, you know, and what's the point of recording something that you don't actually share? Anyway, today is Saturday, June 23rd. I was in the studio today. I did a little redo in the morning, and then when I got back after lunch, I did a interesting plate with kind of this fat guy's face on it for the Great Plate show that they have at the Quarry Art Center, which is where I have my studio. I'm sorry if I'm speaking a little more quietly. It's evening. I did do another take of this video, but I don't think there were some problems with it, so I'm re-recording it tonight, and I may even try and get this up tonight. It's only maybe 7:45, so we'll see how it goes. I do want to get a Past Masters up tomorrow, so might behoove me to get the work done tonight. We'll see. Anyway, I'm more than happy to share this painting with you, because it's one of the I think it's maybe the fifth. Yeah, it would be maybe the fifth time I worked at this 5x10 size. As I indicated in a previous video, I think it was maybe in last week's where we did a Dupree. He was very fond of this panoramic proportion, and I always kind of, I mean, I liked his paintings, but I always kind of poo-pooed it for my purposes. But yeah, I really like it. Actually, I really like it. I've been resisting it for a long time, and didn't even know I was resisting it. You know, my nature is to just do things until I get tired of them, and then I'll make a change. That's how I operate. I'm not the type of artist that's always, you know, boldly experimenting, but I do a bit of experimentation. I actually work on intuition very, very extensively. I was almost going to say inspiration, but to me, I feel inspiration should be a byproduct of actually working, not something you wait for and then it drives you. You should be out there driving already, and then inspiration comes as you're working. That's my feeling, and that's how I see it. But everyone's different, and gosh, some people do amazing work just sitting there waiting for inspiration to hit. That'll never work for me. I'm not that kind of artist or thinker. But and I could, I guess, defend my process by saying that I think you cover more ground, you get more work done, and the more work you do, the more successes you're bound to have. So if you are the type that's waiting for inspiration to strike, and it only strikes 10 times a year, that means you'll have 10 paintings in the year, and are all of them going to be good? Whereas if you do 100 paintings a year, getting 10 good ones is looking a lot better. And this principle goes for anything you do. So I'm always really happy though when inspiration does come and lifts my sails. But if it's not there, I'm working anyway, and I rely on insight and intuition and experience to sort of propel the painting along. Not to mention all the prep work I've done and the multitude of ways I support myself as an artist, which is something I've talked about on this channel extensively, and I guess I might get into it. Like this color mixing you see at the beginning of the video, that's something I do to support myself as I'm working, because it's breaking things down into more bite-size and approachable chunks. Same reason I do an initial drawing or underpainting, so that I'm solving a lot of compositional problems. I'm starting to wrap my head around the scene. Then when I mix those colors, I'm wrapping my head around the colors. And believe me, these things, I'm thinking about all these things at every step of the process. But another good reason why pre-mixing colors is supporting myself is that we all get lazy, and me too. I might intend to paint that day, and then go to lunch and feel like maybe should do something else. But if I've got those colors mixed sitting on the palette, I'll come back in the afternoon and I'll use them rather than waste them. So that's supporting yourself as an artist. Another thing I do, I think the videotaping helps that as well. I think it's great to be able to go back and see how you have done things previously, and but not in a way that's heavy or obsessive. I think it's important to be very loose and light as a painter. I think I always say it should be like breathing or eating or any of the other things that we do that are almost semi-automatic processes. I think painting should be like that. I don't think you want to sit there and go, to have the rational or ego brain driving, like, oh, maybe I should hold my brush different, or maybe this isn't the right color, or that's not really a productive way to work. I think it might be very good for some endeavors, like maybe engineering's like that. I don't really know, because I don't have that kind of brain, but I do know there's a time and a place for that sort of thinking, and I don't feel that painting is it. I feel that you should just do it. Set it up, set yourself up, have a good bunch of things there too. I like that. Board prep would be another way I support myself. I've got a lovely texture and surface to work on that's gonna help support a good painting, and then there's the negative or positive self-talk. You really don't want to get into a lot of comparing yourself with others while you're painting. It might be okay to do that at times, but all of us as artists are on our own unique journey, so that's usually not very productive or constructive, and I don't do a lot of it, to be honest. Even when I'm doing a study after someone as great as Ines, or all the guys I do studies after are great. Why would I bother to do a study after somebody who wasn't great? But I don't sit there and go, oh my god, I don't really do that as well as them or whatever. I just go, it's more my attitude. It's more like, yeah, man, look how they did it. that was great, you know. And I don't even try and paint like them when I'm doing studies. I don't. I just paint like me, but I'm making a copy of their painting. That's my attitude and approach. But sometimes you do, with the right attitude. And I guess we have just a minute left to go. Pardon me for the sniffle there. I have to say, attitude is everything. You need to have a light, constructive, positive attitude to your work and to what you're doing, and even to your career as a painter. You know, really, there's no place for negativity there. It will crop up, but like so many other things in life, you need to be vigilant. I guess the last thing I want to say here is that this painting is actually all of these in this little series of 5x10s. I left them all at one pass. It just was feeling good. I do see, and you will see in the high-res photo on my blog, that there's a bit of the underground coming through in the sky and stuff, but it didn't bother me enough to do anything about it. I really noticed it mostly when I got into the computer and I'm looking at an intense zoom in. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about that color mixing at the front. If you like it, if you don't, I'd be interested in hearing. I'll be back real soon with another video. And new subscribers, old subscribers, you guys are great. Thank you for following my channel. Like I said, see you tomorrow. Past masters. Meanwhile, please take good care and stay out of trouble.